talk about a couple things. One, I'm super excited, yay, because I have my new book is out. It's on Amazon. It's called Forgiveness, A Journey of Courage to a Place of Freedom and Power. And like every other book I wrote, it's written because of my own experience and things I learned the hard way and with all kinds of struggle and pain and through massive defeat and all the rest. And those of you that have followed much know some of the story. And if you really want to know details, if you want to know what it means to overcome struggle, and when people say I struggled with whatever, I shared mine openly and freely in a book called Tightrope of Depression, my journey from darkness, despair, and death to light, love, and life. And I started when I was young and everything had happened there. And when I started struggling with depression in my teens and not understanding what it was, and the decades of self-sabotage and everything, lots of dumb things that I did that weren't good, that hurt other people, and lots of people that hurt me and all the rest. But that isn't the subject of today's conversation. Today's conversation is about forgiveness. And I used to think forgiveness was some kind of a religious thingy. You know, you tell somebody you're sorry and promise you won't do it again and ask if they'll forgive you. And then that sort of completes some ritualistic whatever. And that might be good for a child to learn to apologize for things they did wrong. No judgment or anything there. As I've grown older and more experienced and had to come to grips with a lot worse things that have been done to me and things that I have done to others, sometimes carelessly, sometimes selfishly, and all that. And you'll know what I'm talking about. I know people, I do personally, people who are carrying grudges, anger, frustration, negativity, because somebody did or said something and they cannot forgive them. They can't let it go. Why? Because that person doesn't understand the depth of pain they caused you or me or whoever. And two, they haven't apologized or done anything to make it a little bit better or even try. And so you live. What happens, what I did, what you do when you do that is you carry around a burden. It may not be top of mind all the time where you're thinking about that, but every time that person or that situation or a related thing comes up, then it's like, and that burden is there, that heaviness, that frustration. Well, what that really is an energy leak. It's like having a leaky roof. When it rains, there's a puddle on the floor every time. And until you fix the leaky roof there, it's going to be a puddle on the floor every time it rains. And the rain is like thinking about or having some relation with that person or that thing. And so I used to want acknowledgement and apology for things that were done to me. I never got it. I never will. And I have learned that it's not, okay, I guess I have to deal with the fact that I never get it. It's got nothing to do with it. It is a choice to love anyway. I love that person anyway. They're on their own journey. They did those things. It hurt me. Yes, it did. But I choose to forgive for me. And here's why. Here's what I mean. I choose to allow that person to be on their own path. I hope and pray literally for them to find their path to healing and to do whatever they feel like they need to get their life organized. Justice, as I imagine it, is not mine to give or to require. That is between that individual and their creator. That is, and so finally, I've chosen joyfully, not in a state of resignation, to love and forgive every single person who, quote, did something to me. And what I found is whether they ever know I forgave them or not, or whether they ever apologize or not, or any of that stuff, I am free now. I am liberated. I am joyful. That weight is off my chest. When I think about them, I feel nothing. In fact, I do feel something. I feel intense hope and excitement that they find, that each person involved finds their own path to healing. Now, the other side of the coin was worse for me, and that's because I made lots of mistakes. Now, I was raised with the idea that I was evil and bad all my life to start with. So I started there. I'm evil and bad. So when I had struggles with addictions and depression and self-sabotage and all that stuff, and it hurt other people, it was easy for me to jump into the blame game and blame me for everything. I suck, I'm rotten, I can never forgive myself. Oh dear. And then I changed 15 years ago. My life completely changed, and I no longer had any addiction issues. And I've changed who I'm being and everything else on purpose with a lot of hard work and counselors and help and all the stuff that we do, coaches and all the rest. And we're trying to get better. And then I'm confronted with this issue of two things. One, trying to make whatever amends I can, but since lots of those things were based on time, attention, words, neglect, language, those kinds of things, those you can't fix. So I've offered all the apologies in the world. I have no idea if they are accepted or not. And here's the key. Most people may or may not be prepared to extend or accept an apology when you offer it. That depends on who they are and what they're doing, right? They're not sitting around waiting for you to come and apologize for something you did that was wrong. And I always hooked together. I can't feel like I've really apologized, and I can't move on from this problem until they tell me, I accept your apology, it's okay. Well, them saying to me, I accept your apology, it's okay, a person, I don't control that. They may never be able to do that. So as long as I stay burdened, or you stay burdened because someone else isn't prepared to move on or accept your apology or to allow you to make amends or anything else, as long as that's true, you can either stay burdened by that and stay limited, or you can forgive yourself and move on. Every single person alive makes mistakes, some intentionally, some accidentally. I finally learned, and this is why I wrote the book, Forgiveness, that the best thing that I can do for myself and for everyone I interact with today. I can't go back and relive those interactions of the past, and neither can you. So maintaining a state of being beaten down inside, brokenness, sadness, hurt, pain, awfulness, doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't fix what you did before. It doesn't help that person or persons that you hurt, and it certainly doesn't help you, and it doesn't let you do any good for those around you. So here's the answer. Forgive yourself. Make the amends that you can, apologize as appropriate, and then change who you're being. I'm not suggesting continue in that pattern, but forgive yourself, because that's the only way you can actually do good here now in the world, is to release that pain. Whatever justice needs to be served for you or for them or for whoever hurt you will be taken care of by the divine framework. It's not ours to mete out. We don't get to hand out justice. It's funny because sometimes when someone gets angry, they say stuff like, well, if they were tarred and feathered and dragged through the streets, that's not even half of what they deserve. And so we respond in some kind of an emotional way that is contextualized by the hurt we feel. It's got nothing to do with justice. It just has to do with we want them to hurt because they hurt us. Well, I'm grateful I don't have either in my authority or my assignment to create justice. Whew, that is way over my pay grade. So what I can do is forgive everyone who ever hurt me, and forgive myself for mistakes I have made. Not to pretend them away. Apologies have been given and will continue to be given as required. But what it does is it frees you and me up to be light today, to be a beacon of light right now. I can't be a beacon of light if I'm still carrying tons of guilt. I had to release it. So for all the mistakes I made as a dad, as a person, as a marriage partner, and everything else, I apologize. I have apologized. But I'm not going to carry that guilt anymore because it prevents me from living a life of service and love today. So forgiveness is really a simple choice to do what you can to fix things, and then to no longer allow things from the past to have a power in the present. You are liberating yourself to do more good now, to be valuable to those around you, and perhaps be of help because of the things you've learned, the things that those mistakes or the pain that was inflicted on you has taught you. So anyway, all of that learning is what helped me, prompted me to write the book Forgiveness, and it's out now on Amazon. Forgiveness, a journey of courage to a place of freedom and power. And today I own that place of freedom. I live in it. I love it. I do all I can to help every single person develop their divine gifts and serve. I love doing that. My goal this year, 2022, with the 4.5 months I've got left, is to help 10 million people to discover and serve with their divine gifts. That's why I'm making this video. That's why I write books. That's why I coach. That's why I write music and tell stories of encouragement. I'm in the people encouragement business, and I encourage you right here, right now, to explore what forgiveness can do for you. Who do you need to forgive? Or do you need to forgive yourself? Or both? Most of us need both. The hardest for me was to forgive myself, because I always felt like, well, maybe I haven't done enough to fix things. Maybe I haven't done enough to make amends, or maybe I haven't apologized enough times, or maybe I didn't do it right. And so I can't forgive myself till I've done it right. And doing it right meant someone else has to tell me that it was enough. Well, maybe they never will. I'm not going to hold myself hostage. And I love you enough to ask you not to hold yourself hostage to someone else's whims and feelings and willingness to move on. So I'm celebrating that book. I'm excited about the other piece, because with it, there's going to be a journal. I just saw the front and back cover a few minutes ago, called the Forgiveness Journal. And it is a way to keep track of the steps and teaching that are in the book. So if forgiveness is something you want to explore, you might want to check out the book, Forgiveness, a journey of courage to a place of freedom and power. And look forward to the implementation journal, which will be out in a couple of weeks. I am so excited because of how much liberation and power it has given me and those that I have worked with. It is a powerful tool. It helps you and me be the light in the world we could be, and bless the lives of those we want to bless. Thank you for sharing these few minutes with me. I hope this is helpful. If I can serve you in some way, please let me know. I would be delighted to talk about it and see how I can help you achieve every dream you have. That's what I love to do as a coach. We'll see ya.